Yo, what's good? It's a boy Dude Reviews, and heavy spoilers for My Hero Academia Season 7 Episode 17, You Have Been Warned. This episode adapts Chapter 379, 380, 381, and the first few pages of 382. The episode starts off with Lady Nagant being incredibly determined to try and help out the heroes, as she remembers one Izuku Midoriya telling her that, hey, please, can you fight alongside with us? You can be a hero too. And I love how this episode and last week's episode are showing people who always dreamed of being heroes, but the dark, sad reality of planet Earth made them go down other avenues, but now are finally getting their time to shine. Lady Nagant, what a lady you are. All For One and Shigaraki seem to be having a bit of a falling out. Shigaraki is a strong, independent villain. He needs no man to tell him what to do. You go, girl. Shigaraki telling All For One that he can't control his body, it's his body, he gets to do what he wants to do with it. He tells him that despite him raising him to despise the Hero Society, it was his household, his childhood, that was the true origin of who he is today. Studio Bones really went all out with adapting some of these Shigaraki panels from manga to anime. Even though Shigaraki is the villain, I can't help but feel quite proud of the Shiggy boy standing up to All For One and to declare that he is Shigaraki and Tenko. He will never forget the past, and even though other people can forget the past and move forward, he will never do that. The pain of his past is the only reason why he wants to destroy everything. But of course, our boy Izuku Midoriya, aka Deku, is not going to let Shigaraki get his way. And even though the Shiggy boy has done some pretty bad things, I do appreciate how Deku still sees a scared, frightened little boy inside this gruesome manifestation that is known as Shigaraki. No hate on Studio Bones, but the manga nailed this pose of Deku staring down Shigaraki. The intensity, the aura, the bad arsery, my gosh. The manga reigns supreme in this moment. I do love how the business course are trying to make Gentle Criminal seem like the good guy, with them videotaping the dude, while Gentle is trying to save everyone. I can't help but feel quite moved by this scene. The sad, unfortunate life Gentle Criminal had to live, he's finally getting his redemption. And I love how Librava is more or less the mastermind behind all of this, showing her love towards Gentle Criminal, while Toga is spazzing out, wanting to destroy every last hero. Kurogiri is also quite confused as to what he wants to do. It looks like Eraserhead and Present Mike's buddy, who was their childhood friend inside of Kurogiri, is starting to regain consciousness, and I do believe for a split second the childhood friend became aware of this deadly situation as Kurogiri uses his powers to save Eraserhead, startling the heroes who are witnessing this moment. Hawks was pretty badass in this episode, confronting All For One. I think he's truly the only person besides Endeavor to go head to head with All For One. Holy moly, when All For One attacked Hawks, my jaw dropped. I truly thought Hawks was dead. I thought he was gone. Even Tokuyami was in disbelief over what happened. But fortunately, Hawks was saved by the Shiketsu school students, and you love to see it. Despite the school being a rival school towards UA, they are a hero school nevertheless, and saving people is what heroes do best. I do appreciate how the anime extended some of the Hawks and police force interactions. We have more scenes of the police showing us that despite these guys not having any superpowers, they still play a key role in this bloody, brutal battle. All For One is a little bit too much for some of the heroes, and he goes absolutely crazy, attacking the heroes with his powers. It's pretty cool seeing All For One truly use his abilities. I think it's the first time that we are actually seeing him using his powers to fight and battle, and the man is scary. All For One is starting to make Shigaraki look like a chump, which is probably why the anime extended some of those All For One scenes. All For One talks about how his age, his era was dark, brooding, depressing, violent, and how he reigned supreme in that golden age, but Inasha doesn't even give a damn about it. He just wants to save people. I do love how when we first got introduced to Inasha, he hated Endeavor, and Shota being his son, he hated him too because of their cold exteriors. And with Dabi being Endeavor's son, doing what he's doing, despite everything, the dude still wants to support the two of them and to fight alongside them and to take down the villains. Inasha isn't the only one. Hawks also wants to create a bright future for everyone. I love how the anime added this shot of Hawk staring down All For One, which doesn't make All For One too happy, but he isn't too worried about the situation until Tokiyami comes out of nowhere, releasing all of his darkness onto All for One. I feel like this episode truly focused on 3 characters, Inasha, Hawks, and Tokiyami, all with the same goal in mind, to take down All for One and to be the heroes that they always wanted to be, but in their own special, unique ways. The episode has a post-credit scene, the first time in a few years for a My Hero Academia episode to have a post-credit scene, where Toga is starting to question her abilities. Sometimes I do forget that I'm watching / reading a Shonen Jump magazine because OMG, overall this episode was pretty damn good. The good of the episode, I love how the Shiketsu school came to help the UA students and the rest of the heroes. I honestly forgot all about them, as it's been a couple of years since they were playing any main key role. I enjoyed the scene of La Brava and the business students trying to record Gentle Criminal to make him look like the good guy and to try and redeem the guy in some way, make the world see that he's a good guy. And my gosh, Tokiyami is pretty frightening in this episode. I forgot how powerful his darkness can get. I'm still quite curious on seeing All for One's backstory. I feel like out of all the characters in this season, he's the most interesting one. He is without a doubt the only character to have a big question mark on him. I want to see his origins and why he ended up being the way he ended up being. But let's talk about the bad. I do feel like this episode used a lot of still frames. The art, while really good at times in this episode in the anime, the manga still surpassed it with some of the gritty details and extra sophistication in the way certain characters were positioned and drawn. The animation wasn't as fluid as previous episodes, but I'm guessing they're going to wait for their big finale in a couple of weeks time. And for that, I'll give this episode an 8.5 out of 10 and I'll give it a B+. Tell me in the comments down below, what did you guys think of this episode? Did you like it or did you hate it? Which do you prefer, the manga or the anime version? Tell me. Like this video, subscribe for more My Hero Academia videos, as well as other anime updates, reactions, comparisons and all that jazz. But thank you for watching, and as always, a boy dude review signing out.